much thanks once again to Griffin Burke for this really awesome suggestion. For those of you who may be a little bit newer to Ween or whatever, you just don't know, Final Alarm, as to my knowledge, has never been officially released as a studio recording. It's only been played live, and they've played it live a decent number of times when you go back and look, but not quite as much as a bunch of their, I guess, more well-known songs, just songs in general. But it's an awesome one. It almost tricks you into thinking that it's an instrumental. There are vocals in it, and Claude sings them. Claude actually sings on this song, and Claude, for as awesome as he is at drums, he's a fantastic musician all around. He's a great singer. He's great. He can play a whole bunch of stuff, but they chose him for drums for a reason, because he's awesome. But enough about that. This song is just great, but let's just get into the riffs. So standard tuning. We're going to be in E or B minor, whatever. It's weird. But, we're going to be doing this kind of B minor, think Dr. Rock, this kind of area that a lot of rock songs like to be in. Anyway, yeah. So we're going to start with an E chord, just a power chord. Dean also likes to throw it in up here. You're going to be playing this part a couple times, so you can throw that E up there if you want. But, and then, alright, so that's, now he's going O, 1, 3. Those are the notes, but the rhythm is, I hear, he kind of does, he throws an extra hit in there. Like, he doesn't just go, he goes, he could be he's throwing 2 hits on either this note or this note. You see, you could go, or you could go. I find myself going, but I think he's probably adding the second hit on this note. Like that. But I mean, as long as you get it down, it's fine. You don't need to throw that in. But, A, 2, open, 3, right? And end it on the open A, right? So, right? And then we get into the riff. Alright, so there's 2 different ways they play it. I see Gene doing it like this, where he slides this B power chord up. And then Dean does it like, where he just hammers on his finger there on the 3rd fret. But either way, I like to mix it up, just do both of them. Like that. But after that, right, so pick, hammer on, pull off, and then pull off on the open A. Then 3G, 3E, then open A, 2, open, 3E, open A. And that's the riff. And then the little bit at the end, you're going to hit the D through the D, G, and B strings and the D chord, and just mute the high E. So as if you're playing a D chord, but just mute the high E. Right? You can also throw the open A in there. But just throw that. And then just a quick little 3-2 open on the A. And you just go ahead and pick that and then pull off, right? That's actually kind of tricky to do. What I like to do is either pick it, or just, instead of trying to hold your fingers down here, because trying to hold your finger down there so you're ready to play the D. I like to just sort of just go off real quick, like that, instead of trying to hold that there, because then you kind of, your fingers can kind of hit the open strings, and that kind of makes it muddy it up like that, right? And then it loops. And then once they get through it the second time, they hit the open E, and then they start it over again, right? And then they do that whole thing again, and once they get to the just let that ring out. Then Claude throws in a drum fill, and then we get into this section. Now, there's a lead part over it. I'm going to teach that, but first there's the chords. He starts it off with this kind of weird chord, and from what I can tell, he's playing 2 on E, 2 on A, 1 on D, and then G and B open. He may or may not be playing the high E. It basically sounds like this. Then he plays an E minor. And he goes and cycles back to that. It's a B augmented over F sharp, I think. That's what I've deemed it, which is an interesting chord because you got the B, and obviously it's augmented, so you got the raised fifth, which would be a G, but then there's the F sharp in the bass. So it makes it tense, and it's really cool. Love that chord. And then he plays E minor, like I said, then B augmented over F sharp, E minor. Plays B augmented one more time. Then G. Then A. He could be playing an A. You can just play an A power chord here, because I'm not totally sure if he's playing A major or minor. I think it's minor, but in the public access performance, which is the one I'm mostly basing this off of, it's hard for me to really hear it. The audio's it's not bad. It's just a little. It might just be the tone of their instruments is super fuzzy, but I don't know. Maybe it might just be. But I love the fact that that exists. I love the fact that we have that footage of them, because that performance is great. If you have not watched that, I highly recommend you do. Anyway, back to this. A minor, or just an A power chord. Then B major. Then it goes through that whole section again, where he, just that whole progression again, ends on there. But over that, there's a lead part. It's really cool. Gene usually starts off playing this, which is really cool. It's going to start off with your B note on your 7th of the E, a 7/8, and then it kind of slides down. He's going to go 6/7 on the A, and again slide down. And it's cool because it's like it's an ascending lick, but you're sliding down on the neck each time you go up the scale. It's really cool. He's gonna go here, 4/5. He's gonna do that cool bit there. So you're starting off just 4/5, full step bend. You can also slide up. I just prefer to full step bend. Then bring it back down. 4/4/5, half step bend up, and bend it up, and then let it back down. He'll throw in little bits like that. Again, this is a live song pretty much exclusively, so it kind of goes without saying there's lots of differences between when they play certain bits, right? So during this part, he'll throw in little stuff like that, but I'm just throwing you the basic part that he does overall. And then and it pretty much just goes up again. He makes his way up here the third time through. This B note on the, what is it, ninth of the D. And then he's gonna, again, you could just go up a half step. I like to bend up. So let's bend up. He's going to make his way up to 13 on the D. Oh, 13 and 14, just kind of play around there. To 14 on the A. And again, there's room for little improvisations there, right? So just throw in what you want, but that's the basic skeleton of that bit. You know, all right. So that's that whole bit, and they do that twice. And then they end it on an E. They do another count in, and they go through that A section again. Right, and then once they make their way to the end of that with the Claude starts singing, and they're just gonna stab some E's. Blah 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 blah, and then they're gonna play this. It's basically a B, so you could just play a B chord, and but I see Dean doing this live, this classic kind of Dean thing. I see him kind of doing that, so I assume that's what he's doing. And if you're not familiar, it's basically just a 7, like dominant 7 B note here. Mute the A string, and same fret, 7th fret on the D string, then 8th fret on the G, and then mute the top 2 strings. Right, so you could also just play a bar chord if you want, or again just a B power chord or B bar chord. But that's the bit, and then screaming the final alarm. When he's doing that bit, you can just kind of go. I think they're just kind of sliding down. And then Dean solos and does whatever. He just kind of improvs and. But really cool stuff. And the song just ends on a... just like that. Alright. Also, I realized that bit where he's, singing... That first bit of the melody, it's just Tom Sawyer, right? It's just that very first bit. I love Claude's vocals on this, and especially on that public access performance. I love Gene's backing vocals with him. There's not many vocals, but when they are, it's really cool, and it's great to see this performed by a crowd where Claude sings that lead part, and the crowd just goes wild. Great suggestion, great song. Thanks once again for suggesting this, and keep those suggestions coming. But I'm gonna make a few more, so don't think I'm stopping anytime soon. Thank you so much. Later.